What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 117 of Psychotic and Iconic. Paul's here along with my co-hosts Nick Theories, Mikey P, and Philly Phil. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in to the live stream tonight. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and share it. Thank you to everybody that likes, follows, and subscribes to all of our platforms. Mike Russell, let's ride.
That's crazy.
Wow. Listen, I'm not doing high knees over here. You don't gotta call me that. All right.
We might have just got our title, High Knees.
High knees.
Oh, man. Episode 117 of P&I Powered by Playmaker is brought to you by Prize Picks, daily fantasy made easy. Also, right now we're live at the Props Network at propshq.com. Be sure to go over there and subscribe to our show and keep up with all of the best football coverage around. All right? What are you guys wearing tonight?
Fantastic fabric. I'm back on the grid.
I'm wearing a Brady jersey t-shirt.
So there you have it. What Paul is wearing.
I mean, the audio, people who listen to us on the audio, they got to know.
Good point.
Theory's rocking the Tampa Red t-shirt. Tom Brady, number 12, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they're winning
We don't sell gear of under 500 teams here. So we only sell winners, and that is P&I merchandise courtesy of IPP Pressworks. If you want some, DM us for pricing and details. Nick, it's just a joke. Don't jump through the screen.
I'm not jumping through the screen. It's just that energy will be reciprocated
Moving forward.
later down the line. Because I will have time. But that's okay. Right now, it's okay.
P&I is undefeated. That's the point.
Facts.
All right. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about. We got a game starting in 11 minutes, guys. So let's get right to it. Thursday night football. All right. Ravens. There we go.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, I hear it, baby.
Okay, sweet.
Philly Phil's back, man. I missed him. All right.
We all did.
Baltimore Ravens at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this line shifted, baby. It opened at Ravens by 1.5. It is now at Bucks by 2. Okay? Bucks -2. You got Lamar versus Brady. Brady said Lamar is next last year when he retired. Okay? They finally get to play against each other. There's a lot going on here, guys. So first question I'm going to ask you is, given the state of both of these teams, who needs the win more tonight? They both played very uneven to this point.
This is easy. This is the Bucks. The Bucks need this win more than anybody. There's a lot of doubts on Tampa Bay, especially after losing to Mitchell Trubisky, Pickett, and the Steelers, and then coming off an embarrassing loss to Carolina. Everybody's writing them off. This is a game that they can reclaim their confidence. They're home, and I think they need this. They need this more, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm in agreement on that. I think it's kind of equal, though, in a sense. I would lean more towards the Bucks. But for me, the Ravens need it just as bad because the way the Ravens have lost is troubling. And they need to play a full football game to, the group as a whole needs to get confidence instilled in them. You can't blow leads like they have in fourth quarters. I think they've led every game by 10 points. And to be at their record is just, it's kind of inexcusable. They had the big blow up on the sideline with Marcus Peters and John Harbaugh. So I think they both do need it, but I would lean the Bucks more because you don't want to go 2 games under 500. And the Bucks just lost to 2 really bad teams, 2 of the bottom 5 teams in the NFL. So I do think that, the Bucks will come out to play. I think it's a great spot for them, to be honest. And I'm not panicking on the Bucks yet, but I am, they have to win tonight.
Well, here's the thing. This is the reason why I'm not really worried about the Ravens. I mean, this game means more to the Bucks than the Ravens because the Bengals just lost Jamar Chase for 4 to 6 weeks. So even if they lose, the Bengals still have a hard schedule coming up. So my thing is the Ravens, they can afford another loss and they'll be fine in division. They still have the Browns who stink. They still got the Steelers who stink. And the only team is the Bengals. And they just lost their best receiver. And that hurts.
So, luckily, too, the Bucs division stinks as well. So
Yeah,
they're both kind of
exactly.
in a
Well,
similar
sure,
position.
I know, but this is more of a confidence thing because everybody's talking about, oh, is Tom Brady washed up? Is his father time finally come? Like, this is the time to answer the questions. You know what I mean? So,
I
like, they
agree.
need us more.
Yeah, Nick, you don't want to see what your father said. I just put it up on the screen for you. But this is
Oh,
what
I know.
people are saying.
Exactly. And
He's
that's
not
good.
the only
That's
one.
fine.
This is what people are saying.
It
So
don't bother me. I watch the games. I know what's going on.
I'm in agreement with both of you, though. I think the Bucs clearly need this more. The Ravens, however, Mike, I love the point you made about the fourth quarter because they were tested last week in the fourth quarter again, and they actually did claw their way through. It happened to be a missed field goal, but they actually did win in a fourth quarter for once in a tight game, a divisional game. So the Ravens still have a lot to prove here. They have to be able to put away teams. It's great that they lead games, and it's great that they look good for roughly 45 minutes a game, but they have to show everybody that they're legit. And being legit means winning when it matters most. And that is the thing that usually we are accustomed seeing Tom Brady do. So this is a spot right here where Tom Brady can get the public back in support of this team. And they absolutely need it. They need it because they need to get their swagger back. They look like a team that has no confidence, no swagger. They don't even look interested at points. And that goes for all of them, not just Tom Brady. They look checked out. I want to see the team that literally was burning to win a Super Bowl the last 2 years. I want to see that team, and it's somewhere in there. It's just a matter of, are we going to see it tonight on a short week? That's the question, guys. So I'm going to ask you this. Who is winning tonight? And try and give me some logic here because I'm hearing all sorts of shit publicly that doesn't really make sense. I want to hear why so-and-so will win tonight.
I'm going with the Bucks. When I bet, I believe in desperation. I believe in the human element and emotion. And to me, the spot that the Bucks are in, everybody's counting them out. Everybody across the board tonight is going to be picking the Ravens. And I just don't like that because that's not how it works. Everybody doesn't win. And I like to fade the public. And I was reading today that 77% of the public is on the Ravens. And again, I don't like that. The only thing that has kind of caught my eye on the flip side is that the line totally switched from the Ravens starting out as a 1.5 point favorite to now being a 2.5 point dog. But I mean, it's the spot for the Buccaneers. And it's one of those games where you respond, you show what you're made of. And I mean, look, all their pieces are still there. It's not like the offense isn't clicking, but it's not like the offense is lacks talent. So I'm going with the Bucks all the way. I love the game tonight. It's one of my favorite picks of the week.
Do you have them by the spread too?
Yes. What is the
All right.
is it two? Is it still 2.5?
2.5. I just checked.
It's 2 right now.
2? Okay.
Just 2.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bucks both ways.
All right. Pauls has the Bucks. Theories. What about your man tonight? Is he doing it?
Look, this game doesn't even make any sense, right? Like the fact that the line was from 2.5 to 2 in the Ravens' favor in the last hour, it just moved to 2.5, and then it moved back to 2. That means that's telling me more money's going on the Ravens because they're looking at the 2.5 and they're getting baited right into the public. I'm not buying it, and it doesn't make any sense that the Bucks were even 2.5 point favorites when they have inactives such as Russell Gage, Cam Brate, their left guard who stinks, so it doesn't really matter. Sean Murphy-Bunting, Antoine Winfield, and they're missing all these players, and they're actually dressing 10 rookies. That's insane. So the fact that they are 2.5 point favorites tells me so much that I need to know. I'm taking the Bucks, and I'm taking them outright, and I'm not even thinking twice. That's serious. Because the line doesn't even make any sense. Vegas is telling you, hey, I'm giving you the Ravens at 2.5, and you get the Bucks, who just lost to the Steelers and the Panthers, embarrassingly, and I'm giving you 2.5 points, and the Ravens. Come on, fam. They're baiting you. Mark Andrews is playing. They got Bateman playing, and a couple other guys are active too that were questionable. So it doesn't make any sense. Take the Bucks. Take the Bucks, bro. It doesn't make any sense. It logically does not make any sense. Take the Bucks.
Say it with your chest.
Take the Bucks.
And again, your father disagrees. Godfather says Ravens win by 7.
Bro, good. I'll bet him right now.
Oh, put a salad on it.
I'm about it.
There you go,
Caesar,
Godfather.
I'm on a diet.
He reached across the table. You got to reciprocate it, Godfather. But here's what I think, okay? Listen, I can't bet the Bucs to save my life anymore because every time I expect them to come back and blow a team out or this and that, they let me down. I'm not going to bet based on emotions simply because they should have rebounded the last 2 weeks, and they didn't. 2 weeks in a row, they fell flat. So until I see it, I'm not just going to bet on the simple fact that they need it. They have needed it. I'm going with the team that's playing better. I'm going with a team that has looked better all season. I don't know what to expect in the fourth quarter, but I can tell you this. They are the better team right now. And until proven otherwise with the Buccaneers, I'm not going to just buy right back in on them coming in here and beating a good team. They couldn't beat the two teams they just faced that are significantly worse than this team, who, by the way, they just figured out how to run the football again. So that's how this team wins games. The Ravens are a running football team by nature. Gus Edwards was a special sauce last week. I told you about the Gus bus. All right,
Gus.
Missed him on the waiver wire. I'm sorry.
He ain't going nowhere this week, bro.
Well, I mean, normally the Bucs' run defense is phenomenal, but they got shredded 2 weeks in a row. I mean, I have no reason to support them right now until I see it. So I hope I'm wrong. I'm going with the Ravens.
Bro. You got hooked.
Nah.
You got hooked, bro.
You got the hook.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing about this hook we're speaking about. The line moved in the Bucs' direction 4 points. So that's the hook right there. They want you to get back on the Bucs, is what they want.
No, they want you to jump on the Ravens, bro. They're giving you the Ravens at 2.5.
Sure, and I'm taking them.
They're a better football team. They're playing better. This, that, and the third. They the only reason why they're 4-3 because they've blown all the fourth quarter leads. The Bucs just got embarrassed to Carolina, who literally is on a fire sale, and their favorite against the Ravens. It doesn't even make any sense, bro. Like, you can't even think, like, there's not even like a logical explanation I have for that. I can't think of one, bro.
Here's the logic I'm bringing. The
Tom
Bucs,
Brady, okay, they have Tom Brady. That's fine, but they've been playing bad as a team. So I can't even justify it.
The Bucs are a team that lack identity, and they're not going to figure out on a short week. They have to hope that they catch the Ravens here by surprise or something because they are not going to find their identity after 4 days. It is truly, they're lucky they play in the division they play in. And they're not the only team, by the way. There's a lot of very strong teams coming into the gates, just like the Bucs, where they're in a point where they have to start winning these games. They have to win a game. They have to get back into it. But they are in a situation where the division is pretty weak. I still expect them to pull it off right now. I was the most bullish on this team going into the season, so I'm not going to just say they're fucked, but I do want to see some improvement. I do want to see it. All right?
Well, buckle up. You're about to see it tonight.
I hope so, man. I hope so, because they're making me look bad right now. They're making me look bad. But are you guys ready to move on?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, the game just started now. So, Philly Phil, go ahead and give us a little transition here. The Pittsburgh Steelers facing the Philadelphia Eagles coming off the bye. The undefeated Eagles, the only undefeated team remaining in the league. The Eagles are favored by 11 points. And, I mean, can you really blame them? Honestly, the Eagles just made a huge trade. This is where we have to start. It's the obvious direction to start with this team. The Eagles have traded a 4th-round pick for Robert Quinn of the Chicago Bears, who still has 2 years left on his deal, non-guaranteed, and the man had 18 and a half sacks last year. 18 and a half. And he's been doubled more than any player in the league this year, including Micah Parsons and Nick Bosa. This man has been doubled 58 times. Everyone else below him is 40 and below. This man can still rush the passer better than anybody. The Eagles make out major here. I want to hear everyone's opinion on this trade. I think it's a slam dunk, especially when considering you would have given up a first-round pick for Brian Burns, and instead you get 2 more years of Robert Quinn if you want, and you can move on from him next year or restructure him if you want. No harm done. I already said D-line was the apple of Howie Roseman's eye. I said it on Tuesday. He went out and he got arguably the best one out there considering cost. So, guys, what are we thinking about this deal, and what do we think about the Eagles' defense after this?
I like the deal. I'm not like over the moon with it. I think it was good, especially for a 4th-round pick. And like the thing that bothers me is everybody keeps talking about the 18 and a half sacks last year, but nobody's talking about the 1 sack this year.
I just told you why, Mike.
Yeah, I know, but he's got to learn to fight through those double teams. It's
That's true. That is true. That's true. That's the only knock on him this year.
He's not going to get doubled here.
I just feel like he's inconsistent. Like when he was with Dallas, he was trash. That's why they got rid of him. So, I mean, it's not like this guy's like it's like I feel like we just need to tamper our expectations a little bit. Like, yeah, he is good, especially for a 4th-round pick, but you didn't get Aaron Donald.
No, but they got a leader.
I agree. I like him. You saw Roquan Smith.
He had a C on his chest. That tells me he's a leader. So that's what you want in your locker room, especially with the winning culture you have now. I love this deal for the Eagles. It's to me, it's low risk. 4th-round pick.
Agreed.
I mean, they don't even make the team sometimes. So it's like it's either hit or miss. And it's true. You're getting a proven commodity for a Super Bowl run versus an unknown in the 4th round. I'm taking the commodity for the Super Bowl run. I'm playing for this year. I'm not playing for next year yet. So I love this deal for the Eagles. I think he's gonna fit in fine. I think this makes the rest of the defensive line a little bit better and more focused. I love it.
I agree with you, Nick, and I see a comment by Rob saying that he's concerned. Maybe he has a lingering injury. Something seems a little off, Rob says, okay? But here's the thing. I don't know how many people watched this Monday night game, but they were consistently raving about Robert Quinn being a disruptor this year despite only having 1 sack. This man is still an elite pass rusher right now. That's why the Eagles didn't have to give up. They had to give up a 4 instead of a 5 or a 6 because typically this would be a salary dump kind of situation mid-season for the Bears, trying to move on from a big contract that they're tied to. And the Bears had to eat money here too. The Bears ate pretty much all of it for the rest of this year.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like the Eagles not only get the pass rusher that they wanted to replace a Derek Barnett who's out for the year, and they love having a rotation, and he's not going to be doubled ever in Philadelphia. He's never going to be doubled. They have too many people in that line. So for what it's worth, and they keep the salary flexibility, now they can go out and get whoever they want in addition to Robert Quinn. I think it's a slam dunk. I think it's a total slam dunk. I'm not worried about 1 sack on a bad team. When last year he did the same thing, 18 and a half. This guy has stretches where he just becomes unstoppable in his career. And he'll just go run off like 3 sacks a game. And Nick made a great point about the leadership part too. I don't think that gets talked about, but we all saw Roquan Smith crying in his press conference, seeing his boy gone. Learned so much from him. That's what he was saying. So I think the Eagles defense already, listen, most interceptions in the league through 6 weeks or through 7 weeks, right? Lowest opposing total QBR, lowest opposing yards per dropback. And they just added Robert Quinn on top of that. And they're rumored to be interested in safety. Another one. I mean, they're fucking loaded. They are loaded.
I agree.
They are loaded.
Yep. Leadership is everything, especially for a Super Bowl run. It is.
And we've seen it
Look at the last couple teams that won.
2017.
Leadership.
Chiefs.
Leadership. I mean, hell, we just saw last year. The Rams, leadership. Von Miller, leadership. Like, you need that. It's a great move.
That was the pickup of the.
That's not being talked about. Everybody's talking about the 18.5 sacks from last year. That's great. But when you're well respected in the locker room, that's everything, bro. If you could lead a group of men, that's everything, bro.
That's why the whole team loves Jalen Hurts. That's why the whole team loves Jalen Hurts. That's why teams love Dak Prescott.
Correct.
That's exactly why.
Correct.
That is true. So, guys, not only this, but the Eagles, like I said, they're interested in a safety. But also, we're hearing some rumblings. I have to mention this. CMC, apparently the Eagles made an offer of a mid-round pick for CMC. And now we've heard their name come up in wide receiver conversations, running back. A big rumor came out today, and there's legs to it. The Philadelphia Eagles are interested in acquiring Alvin Kamara from the Saints. And the reason why I don't think, you guys can tell me what you think, but I don't think this is smoke. The Eagles wanted to draft this guy, and they simply didn't get him in the draft. They wanted to draft him a few years back in the 3rd round, and the Saints took him a little earlier than the Eagles would have preferred. This is a guy that they already wanted, so I'm totally buying this rumor. I just don't know if they're going to move on from him, given that they're only a game out of first place. They don't necessarily have to move on from Kamara.
My thing is like, Kamara's obviously a great player, but like, what do you do? I mean, what happens to Miles Sanders? I mean, Alvin Kamara, how do you bring Alvin Kamara here and get him 5 or 6 touches? Like, he needs the ball. So like, I mean, even if it's 10 touches, I don't want Alvin Kamara's touches to go away to Miles Sanders. And I don't think any other rational human being would want that. So it's like, it's difficult because at that point there's only one ball and you have a lot of mouths to feed. But I mean, look, it's Alvin Kamara. It would be great if the Eagles picked him up. I mean, you have to worry about his legal issues because they're saying that he could be suspended next year in 2023.
That's what your brother just said, literally.
It's a bad move.
Yeah,
it's a bad move.
But I just like, I wouldn't screw with the chemistry right now. I think it's high risk, high reward.
It's a bad move. You do not want to bring somebody who has legal action on the resume right now, pending, by the way, into your locker room. You don't want that distraction. It's not worth it. He's going to be more trouble than he's worth. He's already had injury issues this year.
Yep.
It's like, all right, what does it take to acquire him? Do I have to give up a high pick for him?
Probably got to give up a second.
I'm good on that. If Miles Sanders is the guy that everybody's been saying, then why the hell would you go get a running back like Alvin Kamara?
Correct.
It doesn't even make any sense. So either A, people are capping about Sanders, or B, he stinks. The Eagles don't believe in him. The Eagles ain't bringing him back. That's what that tells me. If they're interested in a running back, he's not coming back. That's what it tells me.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Why would you spend a draft pick to go get a running back if you're going to keep Miles Sanders? It doesn't make any sense.
You make some sense there with that point, and it's a valid point. I do honestly think that it's just the Eagles pushing all the chips on the table, and we already know that they would like to pair somebody with Miles Sanders, and ideally with Kamara being a little bit more injury prone lately. I do think that they want to pair them up and give both of them 15 touches. And that is realistic. Maybe this player perhaps is not the one that fans would ideally want because of the legal issues. So I get that. I definitely understand that. From a football perspective, I think it's a seamless transition. I think that he's a perfect fit. And I think that the Eagles believe in their locker room enough that they would consider that kind of a move. And I see people mentioning Kareem Hunt too. And I mean, look, it's the same situation, arguably worse there. Kareem Hunt has also been in legal troubles. And he also, I mean, he was verbal about wanting to leave the Browns. Do I want a guy that's going to be a bad seed? Like, at least Kamara's been quiet this whole year, if there is a comparison in terms of the personalities. That's the only thing I'll say. I mean, football-wise, both of these guys are fits. I mean, it's just insane if the Eagles could have a running back rotation like that. I don't see how they're going to lose another game.
Well, Kareem Hunt wants to be RB1. That's the reason why he wants to get traded. Is he RB1 on the Eagles?
I think both of those guys would be 1A.
Kareem Hunt is better than Miles Sanders.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
Oh, all right. I thought you were something. I was
but
like,
what I'm saying is,
Boston Scott's better than Miles Sanders.
But what I'm saying,
That's long over with.
I had to throw that in there.
That ain't cap,
Stop
though.
it.
It's not cap. I
Nah,
had
it's
to throw it in there.
It's
though.
not.
You stop it.
All right. That's not cap. Anyway, but yeah, no, I just to me it doesn't make any sense. I mean, what is Miles Sanders not doing?
I think he's been fine. I just think they want to have a legitimate rotation, given that he has injury history, and they want to have two
But
backs.
you just
in the
drafted
system.
Gainwell. You just drafted Gainwell. What are you gonna do with him?
I love Gainwell too.
He's just a pass catching back to them at this point right now, which is what they've shown us through 7 weeks of the season, that they want to use him in that third down role, and they still could.
You want a bull.
Probably-
You need a
probably
bull.
about
You need like
five.
a Mike Davis, a fucking bowling ball to come down in between the tackles. That's who you want. You want somebody who's going to get you the tough yardage. If Miles Sanders is the guy, and he's one of the top running backs in the league, doesn't make any sense to trade for a Kareem Hunt. Just go get a bulldozer, a Deontay Foreman or something. Like those kind of type of players. I'm not saying he's available, but what I'm saying is
A Montgomery.
Maybe a David Montgomery.
Well, what if? Let me give you a hypothetical
That's the formula.
situation. If you had to give up,
But Garrett Blunt is proof.
if you had to give up a 4th round pick for Kamara versus a 6th rounder for Montgomery, what are you doing? Fair question, because that actually might be the value. It could be
Run it back.
A 4th for Kamara or a
4th for
6th.
Kamara or Hunt or a 6th for Montgomery. What are you doing?
I mean, look, Kamara for 4th is a steal.
I'm taking Kamara. Yeah.
I mean, like,
That might be what the value is.
if he gets look, I said right before this, I said that I thought it would take like a 2nd or a 3rd. But if you can get Kamara at a 4th, you have to do that. You
I
can't
think
say
people
no. To
sleep on Montgomery though.
The thing
that.
is,
Montgomery does his job.
He's a solid back.
I
He's
mean,
solid.
maybe it's a conditional pick, but either way, a conditional 4 versus a 6 for a significantly worse player. I'm going with an elite running back, and I'm going to have the best running back room in the entire league, because the Eagles haven't struggled in short yardage this year with the backs that they have. I don't even think they're worried about it, even though the three of us would like to see them get a guy who's a short yardage machine. The Eagles seem like they're confident they're going to gain an inch if they need it, And Jalen Hurts is unstoppable on QB sneaks, and the offensive line they just get insane leverage. Like, so I do wonder, like, if they just strictly are looking for an extra talent in the room because they can afford it. Honestly, they can afford it. And the Saints are probably looking to do a salary dump here too, a salary dump, and then the legal issues like you guys are referencing. But this is unconfirmed. I'm just saying there's a fair chance that he's not going to cost as much as people are thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think anywhere near a 4th, to be honest. I thought more towards the front.
I'd probably say a 3 would probably be the lowest that for Kamara, maybe.
And you know what? Then I'm still doing it for a 3 because the Eagles can pick up a compensatory 3 just through free agency. I mean, it's something that they don't even need anyway. They have 2 first rounders and 2 seconds next year. I mean,
Yep.
they're just stockpiled. It's actually insane what Howie Roseman has done. Give the man some credit. But guys, now to the actual game. Did you have any other wrap-up thoughts here?
No.
So
I didn't.
the actual game. The Eagles are favored by 11. The Steelers are showing some life. They beat the Bucs 2 weeks ago. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN predicted an upset, that the Steelers will beat the Eagles coming off the bye. So I want to hear your thoughts. Who's winning this game? And is there actually some upset potential here?
No, I think Deontay Johnson is going to be on lockdown. I think the Eagles corners are good enough to compete with the Pittsburgh wide receivers. I don't love Trubisky. He stinks. Pickett, I mean, he's young. He's a rookie. There's so much more we have to see from him. So he's iffy. From when he does play, he does make plays from time to time. He's that kind of quarterback, but he doesn't do it at a consistent level for me to be scared about the Eagles. I like the Eagles at -11, so I'm taking the Eagles outright.
All right, theories, Pauls.
I'm taking the Eagles on the money line and the Steelers with the points. I do think there is some upset potential here. Just got a weird feeling. I never underestimate the Steelers. For the Eagles to be laying 11, it's a lot of points. It's a lot of points. I know they're coming off the bye and stuff like that, but the Steelers have, they still are trying to win games. It's not
Bro,
like
they're
they're trying to lose.
They're ass, bro.
Be careful.
No, they're ass.
Be careful.
Be careful.
It does, honestly, though.
I know
This
that.
team does. The Eagles don't strike me as a team to look ahead. Like I just don't know. I mean, from what I've seen, it seems like we've always tried to see. Okay, is this the week the Eagles are going to crack? Is this the Eagle? They haven't. They've won, bro.
Yep.
Like, and that's just because they got good coaching and good leadership in that locker room. So I don't see them. I don't see a letdown game here. I just don't. I think this team is a little bit different than
I'm still taking them to win. I'm just saying they need to take them serious. I
But
think
the
it's going to be
upset-
closer
but
than
the
11
upset
points.
potential. You could pick any game on the slate. There's upset potential. Anybody could say that. Anybody could think that. Like you could point to the Giants and Seahawks, or the Patriots and the Jets. You could say, okay, the Patriots have upset potential against the Jets. Like, I'm just saying, you could say it about any team. So for somebody else to say that and them to be like shocked about it, like I just. To me, I don't see it. The Eagles are way better than the Steelers, and this is going to be a blowout.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to have to say the Eagles both ways here because, I mean, honestly, I don't think the momentum's going to stop. I think that they're just going to keep rolling, and this is a situation where they're just clearly superior. I will say, though, the Steelers seem to have figured something out a little bit the last 2 weeks. It may not translate into winning games, but they seem to have figured it out a little bit. They've been more competitive. So we'll see. Like I can't ever question a Mike Tomlin team, but what I can do is I can back the Eagles because they have been absolutely bulletproof so far. So it's the same thing until proven otherwise. The Eagles show up for every game. The Eagles also need to play better in fourth quarters, though. That's another team where, they kind of let the foot off the pedal. Maybe it's just because they're so damn good. That happens sometimes. You get lulled to sleep from leading so much. It happens. So
they need to take them serious.
So they do need to take them serious. That is an absolute fair point. And momentum going from bye week to a game, you never know. But I'm not worried about this team. I got the Eagles both ways.
But what proof do we have that the Eagles are gonna potentially lay down here?
None.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you went to the bye week undefeated.
Sure.
You're hearing all the talk. The Phillies are smoking it. You got to be careful because right now the whole city's on fire.
No, energy
minus the
attracts
Sixers.
other energy.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
I agree. It's contagious.
It is, bro.
I agree.
The city's buzzing.
I know.
And the Eagles are undefeated, coming off a bye week. They get rest. Like, I'm telling you, like, I haven't seen, we thought they were going to lose to the Jags or the Cardinals. Or the trap game, remember that bullshit?
Not me.
Like, is that what they're calling this, a trap game? Because in every game's a trap game when you're undefeated.
Yeah, no,
Every
I'm not.
Game's a trap game.
This is the first time I've questioned
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, all right, give me a formidable foe or opponent, and then we could talk. But the Steelers are not it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the Eagles here.
Win, fam? That would be embarrassing. But I mean, come on, like, let's be real.
I'm not going to worry about the Eagles in this spot. But real quick, before we move on, I have to point out a comment because Nick and I, we come from the Eagle ball boy bloodline, and we got another one here on the show tonight. Kyle, we see you. Kyle Jungo, we see you. That's our brother.
What's up, man?
All right,
up,
I'm
Kyle?
giving you a shout out because I think this is the first time I've seen you in a show here. That's our guy. We have to give him a shout out, but
Best
also
podcast on the net. Welcome aboard, brother.
he's the man. And to everyone else out there, before we move on, make sure you share the stream, get some more people in here. We talk about some more comments. We are looking at them actively. I'm literally putting them up on the board. All right, so share the stream, share it everywhere. We are on pretty much everywhere. Share it, okay? Next up, you guys ready?
Born.
It's so weird not having the music behind us now because it's so quiet.
Yeah, how do you guys like that?
I don't know. I thought I loved it because in the beginning I hated the music back there because I feel like I couldn't hear myself think. But now that I don't have it, it's weird because I don't.
Yeah, well, we can ask the audience what they think about the music too, because most podcasts don't do it.
I know. I'm good with it. No, leave it like this. I want to get used to this because I
varies
off.
Okay.
I want to get used to it.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
It off.
I've been letting it play through the song once and then just turning it off, and then
cool.
It honestly it varies depending on what you listen to. So we're testing out all kinds of things, guys. Do always give us your feedback. We encourage it.
Robert says.
Music off. Interesting.
Music off, they say.
Either way, we
Well,
heat.
Exactly.
matter.
We'll use it on transitions, so you know when there's a new segment. That's where we're going right now on this show tonight. So thank you, Philly Phil. We got another game to get to. I don't know what you're laughing at over there, and unfortunately, I can't see it.
He just looked at me and started laughing, which is regular shit. So I did something.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but what I do know is this is a big game right here. This one being the Arizona Cardinals at the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings favored by 3.5 at home, coming off the bye. So where to start here? The Cardinals, with DeAndre Hopkins back last Thursday night, actually looked functional for once. They dominated right out of the gate, and the offense looked as good as it had been all season. And yes, the defense did score 14 points in this game. And I see you, Pauls. All right, I see you. Okay, I'm not fucking blind. You have to be honest. This is the most functional that they looked all season.
No, I disagree that they looked functional.
They still scored 28 points.
Yeah.
I mean, they did. But look, functional isn't your quarterback having 204 passing yards and one wide receiver having 103 of them.
But it was smooth.
Functional.
It was smooth.
It's not sustainable.
It was smooth, he says.
Well, I mean, look, it's D-Hop. He had
First
15 targets for 103 yards. Like, yeah, he's that guy. He elevates the team for sure.
But that's the thing, though, having that guy there that you can depend on
absolutely.
in any situation. It's just clear he looked more calm, looked more confident.
Troy White, shout out from your Uber driver. Yo, my guy, welcome to the show, man. Yo, I met him in Tampa. That was awesome. He also has a sports podcast.
Awesome.
That's cool, man.
Oh, there he is. Yep.
Welcome
Put
to
it
the
up
show,
on the screen. Troy White, thank you for
awesome,
joining
man.
us. And of course, also all of our regulars. We've already been talking to you on the show tonight, but
cool,
thank
man.
you to everybody.
Showed you love.
Yeah, he did,
Okay.
man. I appreciate that, yo. That was awesome.
Guys, I want to know first, though, are the Cardinals a threat again? Now that they played a pretty complete game for arguably the very first time all year. They've been a slow starting team. The offense has been mostly atrocious until they go into schoolyard ball. And the defense actually quietly has been turning it around the last couple weeks. So are the Cardinals back to being a threat? And remember, the NFC West is wide open right now. They are only a game out.
A threat, no. Formidable, yes. They have a little bit of a tough schedule. The hardest part of their schedule is definitely gone. But I don't look, the defense has played better, but we got to realize they were playing Andy Dalton, and it was back-to-back pick sixes. So, I mean, he did shred them. Other than that, he threw for 360 yards. So they're definitely formidable and better with D-Hop. And to be 3-4 right now is really good for them, because I thought that they, if they were 1-6, 2-5, like that's where I expected them to be. And they were able to pull out, the Raiders game and things like that. They almost pulled out the Eagles game. So they look to get it. I don't know how much I still can't buy into the Cliff Kingsbury offense. It's just, to me, it's just Kyler has to run around and make things happen.
I agree with you there.
Formidable, yes, they will be, because Kyler's good enough where him and D-Hop can make an offense. They will score points. But as far as a threat, I'm not there yet, because I still think they have coaching issues.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not worried about the Cardinals. I mean, look, dude, they beat the Saints by 8, and they got 14 points off Andy Dalton. So congrats, by the way, on that. But I just don't see anything on this team. Their schedule is still pretty difficult, if you ask me. They play the Vikings. They play the Seahawks. They play the Rams. They play the Niners. They play the Chargers, the Patriots, the Broncos. Well, the Bucks, they play the Falcons, and they finish out the season with the Niners. So to me, I think their schedule is still pretty hard. I just don't see playoffs with this team. I'm not a believer. D-Hop is back, which is great for them. He's, one of the top, receivers in the NFL. But I just, as the season progresses, teams are going to play a little bit different. They're going to double team him, and then, you got to rely on your other receivers. And has he done that? even without D-Hop, and I didn't see enough of that. So for me, I'm not buying in this team. I think they have a lot of holes they have to fill in the offseason, and then I think what, and then moving forward, okay. I mean, they have the talent, but they need to they have to get better in other areas. But their schedule's tough, so I'm not a believer.
Yeah, they're an imperfect team, but they do have a lot of talent that has been underachieving. The thing I will point out is with Hopkins healthy last year, and since he's been a Cardinal, obviously the whole offense elevates, and that's everyone behind him too. So if he starts getting doubled, as Nick is saying, well, they just acquired Robbie Anderson, who's still a burner. He's going to take the top off of defense. You still got Rondale Moore, who's getting
not
healthy.
taking the top off of any defense, bro.
Yeah, he's taking the top off of defense because you have to respect the speed. You have to respect it.
But
also, you have to respect. Excuse me.
It don't matter. He can run the field all he wants. You got to catch the football.
You have to respect Kyler Murray's ability to throw the deep ball. Now, the offensive line is shaky, so it's a little bit more difficult to do that. But they are going to get Hollywood Brown back at some point this year too, and they still have Zach Ertz, so they have skill position talent. The one thing they haven't been able to do this year that they could do last year that I referenced on Tuesday, I think it was, is they've not been able to run the football this year. And Benjamin looks good in spot duty, but James Conner's been completely unreliable and unhealthy. They need to go out and probably acquire a running back. And then things on the offensive side, you would think, okay, can they outperform their coach at this point? Can the talent overcome the coach like it did for half a season last year, enough to get into the playoffs with 11 wins? Can the talent overcome the coach? Right now, to a degree, I think so. I don't know if I want to say that they're a true division threat, but I already thought that they were a playoff team. So I want to see more, obviously. I want to see you build on this. And I think that Vance Joseph's been doing a much better job with this defense than anyone could have imagined, because they lost a lot of pieces, and they've been much better the last few weeks. And they had the first blueprint on Jalen Hurts all year this year. They lost the game, but they did limit the Eagles, and the Eagles look like they could be the best team in football. They've been showing signs. So I want to see consistency from this team now. Let's build on this. That's what I want to see. Go ahead.
One thing I do want to say, if Hollywood Brown was healthy, I would say that they would be a threat because that offense would be lethal.
I mean,
they would be able to score with anybody.
It would just be an embarrassment of riches if he was here. I don't know how long he's going to be out.
They said week 14, I think, was the target for him to return.
Yeah, consensus is probably around 6 weeks, and I would still give him a week or two to budget with there, just because it's something that could have been season ending, and he kind of lucked out a little bit.
Now it might be, I don't know, it may be too late by that point. I mean, obviously we don't know.
Normally, I don't know.
You kind of got to account for Kyler missing a game or two. Normally gets nicked up,
Possibly. So possibly with the way that he has been getting hit and the way that he's had to scramble for his life, maybe pull a hammy or something like. Yeah, it's, and it is what it is at that point. This is something we're accustomed to. But I have to ask you guys the opposing perspective here, because I think the 5-1 Vikings. Mike was on this team. Mike had them winning the NFC North. Kudos to him. They are 5-1, but it's been a relatively quiet 5-1 so far, and they were on a bye last week, so they're not really getting talked about that much. So I want to ask you guys simply this: like, how good are these Vikings here? Like, are they a legitimate team, or are they just like, are they a contender like their record would indicate, or are they just a playoff team, or are they totally smoke? That's the completely opposing side of it.
I think they're a contender, to be honest. I think they're a good football team. The reason that nobody's buying into them is because you have a rookie head coach and you have Kirk Cousins, who tends to melt down in big spots. But like I said, I mentioned this before, man, when you have your leader that believes in you, it can go a long way. And I know a lot of the talk is that their defense isn't playing well, but they have 10 takeaways this year, 5 interceptions and 5 fumble recoveries. It's tied for 5th in the NFL. And their defense is playing clean. They only have 6 penalties for 45 yards through week 7.
Great stat.
So it's like when you see that, those are things that team is not accustomed to doing, because they normally are on the opposite end of that, where they're blowing games on mental mistakes and they're undisciplined. Like, the stat turned around where now they're one of the more efficient teams that are winning the games in the final 4 minutes, as opposed to losing them in the final 4 minutes, which is all about coaching and things like that. So I like them. I mean, you have Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson as, your two top playmakers. I think they're a really good team, and I think they're being overly slept on. And I don't know if it's because of the bye week and they kind of just fell back into the woods, but they need to be taken seriously, because they can score with anybody too.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know. I just this team is like when you like on paper they're amazing, but when you watch them and you're looking at the games, you're like, damn, like I feel like they should be blowing teams out. So like I feel like they should be beating the Lions by more than 4 points. I feel like they should have crushed the Saints, and they should crush the Bears. Like I feel like these are teams they should be crushing. If you're a 5-1 and you're an elite team, yeah, you're winning the game, and I get that. But when you talk about elite teams body the bad teams. Like I don't know. I mean, they beat Green Bay in week 1. Green Bay is what? What do you consider Green Bay? Do you consider them a mid-tier team?
I would say
right now they're a bad team.
I was going to say a little bit below mid-tier.
Yeah, exactly. So I just don't see it with this team. I mean, you saw what the Eagles did to them. The Eagles could have just mopped the floor with them, but the Eagles didn't score in the second half. That was the game. You know what I mean? But like other than that, their wins aren't really impressive to me. They're just not. I don't know. It's just eye test for me. Like when I watched them, I'm like, they're good, but they're like,
So here's
they could be had, bro.
I agree with you to a degree, but my thing is with them, they're not good enough to blow a team out. But with discipline and the right head coach, you can learn to win those close games, which is exactly what the Giants are doing. The Giants have talent. They just never had a coach. And now you see that. Now all those games that they typically lose, they're 6-1 now because they have a good head coach running it. And in those moments when you have to make the right play call and you have to lead and you have to do situational shit, Brian Dable's leading them. Kevin O'Connell's leading them. I mean, when you learn from Sean McDermott and Sean McVay, you absorb that. I mean, look at the Dolphins with what's his face? I can't think of his name. Mike whatever. So that stuff matters.
Mike McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel. Yeah.
Well, look, right now they're a good team. Look, they're 5-1. You're not a bad team being 5-1. I just have my doubts. We're gonna find out a lot about this team in November. Late November, when they play the Bills in Buffalo, they play Dallas at home, and they play New England. We're gonna find out about the Vikings next.
Did you just include New England?
Yes, I included. Yes, I did.
Wow.
So you weren't saying that 2 weeks ago, but now they had a bad game.
Well, I know they had Bailey Zappi 2 weeks ago. Now they got Mac Jones, so they off the grid.
Oh, he stinks. He stinks. We're not gonna go there. But what I'm saying is, yeah, New England's a tough game. There's always a tough game. Every time you go against a Bill Belichick defense, it's always going to be tough.
Justin Fields just blew him wide open.
Okay, I get that.
Wait, save the talk on the Patriots. Save it.
It's one game. It's one game.
I'll body you in there.
What I'm saying is, yeah, I'll get there too. But yeah, no, I think you'll find out a lot about this team. Dalvin Cook is actually playing pretty well, 4.8 yards per carry. If you could run, if you could run the football and you have a star running back and you got wide receivers, you open up the field so much. Yep. And you eliminate stupid plays and stupid, turnovers. I mean, you're able to do the play action. You're able to utilize your weapons. Like, I mean, it's just the bottom line. It's football. Like Dalvin Cook is running like a maniac, and look, they're still a good team, but I have to see more.
Imagine that. Like the first few weeks of the season, they just outright refused to run the football enough, and you get Dalvin Cook involved, and suddenly things are working again. The run game is clicking. Justin Jefferson's able to get some attention off of him. So that right there, that is actually an adjustment right there, coaching wise. That is promising. As Paul says, discipline and coaching so far, these are things where it shows they're a good team. I think they're a playoff team, but I also agree with Nick. I think that they have some weak wins. Granted, you have to win the games on your schedule, and that just shows that they are some type of good here. I don't think they're great, though. I don't think they're great until proven otherwise, and this defense is Swiss cheese. 28th ranked pass defense. So actually, I think that this game right here actually is a really good test for them. Like if they win convincingly here, it's going to go a long way in the NFL circles. They have to win this game convincingly. They still have to win it, obviously.
I mean,
but if they win it convincingly, it's a huge selling point to say you're 6-1 and you just blew out a team that's supposedly very good offensively that should be able to put up points on you. Like this is a true test for their defense, given the way the Cardinals played last week. And also, I mean, Kirk Cousins too. The Cardinals have been able to force turnovers. So if Kirk Cousins can play clean here, this is another one. It can go a long way into dispelling the notion that they're not legit. I think they are legit to an extent. They're just not elite. They probably will win the division at this point, but they're not. They can't compete with the Eagles right now. They're not even close, in my opinion.
Well, no, I actually agree there. The one thing though that I would say to kind of counter that is like, I don't understand how the whole like. You were saying that they need to win convincingly. Excuse me, I lost my train of thought. But my thing is like they should win convincingly, but not because the Cardinals are a good team. They should win convincingly because they're 6-1 and the Cardinals are 3-4. So like to me, I don't understand how that would go a long way by beating them.
Because most people, unlike you two, actually think the Cardinals are very talented and underachieving. There's a lot of people that still had them in the playoffs this year, and they're coming off an 11-win season.
A lot of people are smoking wet.
And that's okay, but guess what? They're still right in the division race. So you have to at least acknowledge the point that they are a talented team.
They are.
A very flawed but talented team. And the thing is the reason why they need a convincing win somewhere on this schedule somewhere where they just look the part is simply because, look, they've beaten a combination of Skylar Thompson and Teddy Bridgewater. They beat Andy Dalton in his first game in New Orleans. Before, it was like, okay, he actually looks good in this offense. This was in London, and they were clearly the better team, and they almost lost that game. Chicago Bears, they were losing that game. It took a miracle in the end. They should have lost that game, but they won it because of what you said. They are a disciplined team, and they obviously have figured out a way to win games, which is crucial. If you want to win, you have to find ways to win games like that where you're losing even to bad teams. So credit to them there, but it would just go a long way if they could convince some people here. I'm not ready to fully buy in on this team outside of winning the division until I see it. I'm with Nick. I've not seen it. And I'm the biggest. No, everyone knows Dalvin Cook is my guy. I'm the biggest Dalvin Cook guy on the planet. Mm-hmm. I want to see it. I have not seen it yet, and there's too much talent on this offense for me to only see, mid-20s in games like this. I want to see them go out and put up a 30-pointer where they just click, and then I don't got to even worry about the defense. I want the offense to look this way too. I want the offense to convince me too. But yeah, we got to pick the game, guys. We got to actually pick the game. We're going to pick up some pace here too. So what are you guys thinking here? Who's winning this game?
I got the Vikings both ways. I think they're better than them on offense, and I think they're better than them on defense.
Aries.
I'm going to fade that. I think the Cardinals win these kind of stupid, weird last second games. Just playing Madden with Kyler. I can see it happening again. I'm actually going to take the Cardinals here, and it's just a hunch for me. Like I think the Vikings need to come back down to earth a little bit, and I think this is the game. The Cardinals have a tough schedule, like I said earlier. They need to win more than the Vikings, so for that reason, I'm going to go with Arizona.
I'm going with Arizona as well. I'd be willing to bet you on it too, Paul. But first, Kirk Cousins off a bye in his career, 2-5 against the spread, and then on extended rest in his career, 9-16 straight up, 7-18 against the spread. Kirk Cousins has not been good with extended rest. Give me the Arizona Cardinals building on something with some momentum coming off of Thursday night and some extended rest for them as well.
We will see. I'll take that bet. Absolutely.
Shake it through the screen. There you go. We got a deal. All right. Philly Phil, we're ready to go.
That's real head ass. Hold on.
That's crazy.
Guys, you're not going to believe this. The only two teams with a winning record facing off this week are the New York Giants and the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks -3 at home. I kid you not. This is actually real life. This is reality. Okay? So, the public has not bought in on both of these teams yet. It's pretty obvious. Like, everyone's still wondering if they're legit. Well, first of all, the Giants traded Kadarius Toney today, in case you missed it. But we don't have to go too deep into that. Decent compensation. But
Well, they didn't need him.
sorry.
Yeah, they don't throw the ball.
Well, he's not playing.
Yeah.
He wasn't playing, so they don't need him.
Yeah, so they actually got some pretty decent compensation there. But what do you think? Like, what has to be done for these teams to be considered legit? Like, what has to happen? Is it going to happen in this game, or does it have to be like further down the line? Like, what do you have to see from them to believe?
For me, for the Seahawks, nobody's ever really going to buy into them until they're like 9-3 or 9-4 or something like that. I just don't think anyone will ever buy into the Geno Smith-led Seahawks, and now they're missing DK Metcalf. I mean, look, if they go on a 3-4 game win streak without DK, if he's not there, then you gotta say something. But as far as the Giants, you have to believe in them. They win close games. Brian Dable is squeezing all of the juice out of Daniel Jones. And the big thing for Daniel Jones this year.
Whoa, fam.
Well, excuse me, pardon me. The big thing with Daniel Jones this year is he's not turning the ball over. That's Daniel Jones' issue. He was good for a fumble and an interception every single game, and he's not doing that now. And you have Saquon Barkley back and healthy, and they're just the Giants are a good team. They're a well-coached team. So,
Mike, honestly, you know what the Giants remind me of? With albeit less star power, they kind of feel like the Vikings right now, where they've been cruising. I actually think that Brian Dable has been coaching better, but that's beside the point. The point is that they've been stabilizing forces behind the team's turnaround, and they too have only lost one game. So,
well, the Giants honestly have more impressive wins than the Vikings.
Yeah.
I still think the Vikings are better because they have more skill players.
Agreed.
But the Giants have very impressive wins.
Agreed with both points. They just kind of feel similar because, like, they just don't make mistakes. They don't make mistakes. So, like, I think that to an extent you have to respect both of these teams. I just don't know if a win in this game is going to do it for me. Like, I don't know.
I mean, if they're 7-1, you have to respect them. Their season win total for over and under was 7 wins, and they're going to have it in their first 8 games.
It ain't gonna happen, bro. It ain't gonna happen.
I can't wait to hear
Give me
this.
the Seahawks all day. They're telling you, I'm giving you the Giants, who are 6-1, and I'm giving you 3 points against the Seahawks without DK Metcalf, and they're underdogs. Come on, bro.
Seahawks are home.
I don't care. Exactly. And that's why I like the Seahawks in this game. That crowd's going to be rocking.
It's a perfectly priced line.
No, it's not, bro. No, it's not. If a 6-1 team should not be a 3-point dog. A 6-1 team with quality wins should not be a 3-point dog against Seattle without their best wide receiver. It just doesn't make any sense.
Here's the thing.
I am going Seattle. I'm going Seattle -3. I'm not even thinking about it. Geno Smith has been balling. Kenneth Walker has been going crazy. They're going to run the football. They're going to go deep to Tyler Lockett, and they're going to utilize their tight ends. I love Seattle in this game. That crowd is going to be loud. They know what's at stake. They know the Giants are coming in. They're 6-1. The crowd's going to be fired up. I love the Seahawks in this spot. That's why I am taking the Seahawks, and I'm not even thinking twice about it. Take the Seahawks.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing is, though, the Giants enjoy this script. The Giants, as underdogs this year, 6-1 straight up and against the spread. The Giants love being the underdog. So I'll give them some real respect there. I'm with Nick, though. I do have the Seahawks here, quite simply because I just think that they're a stronger team at this point. And the one thing that was a glaring issue with this team was their defense, which has quietly turned it around the last couple weeks. And by every metric, by the way, their offense ranks higher, their passing offense ranks higher, their rushing offense is one spot less. The overall defense is 8 spots better. The run defense is 7 spots better. The pass defense is 6 spots worse, though. But that's the thing, is their pass defense, their young corners the past 2 weeks have looked like they've grown immensely. Pause. But like they have figured it out a little bit. Tariq Woolen in particular has been outstanding. So I am going with the Seahawks, but I would not be surprised one bit if the Giants win this game. I think what it's going to come down to is if the Seahawks jump out to a lead in this game, the Giants will have a harder time winning. I think if the Seahawks build a lead with the offense playing the way it is, they're going to be hard to beat here, especially at home. So that's what I'm expecting. I expect them to jump out to a lead.
Yeah,
Dig it.
I agree.
You guys are both wrong, but great answers.
Well, you want to bet on this one?
I'm not betting on Daniel Jones and the Seahawks.
I got Geno Smith.
Wait,
bro.
you got the Giants, Mike?
Metcalf.
Well, I have the Giants. Yeah,
I got Will Disley.
he's heat.
I'm out here.
Well, this is the man.
So, actually, quick question before we advance past these two teams, guys. The quarterbacks here. I mean, look, Geno Smith, Daniel Jones. They've played very well so far this year. Have they done enough at this point to maybe secure themselves another year, perhaps, with these teams, albeit an extension, maybe a franchise tag? Like, do you think that we're at the point where they might have actually earned sort of a commitment?
Daniel Jones will definitely be the quarterback for the Giants next year.
Mistake, but go ahead.
That's all I got to say. He will be the quarterback.
I know it's a mistake.
Yeah, I know.
I do. I believe that.
I know you do.
But I think Geno Smith deserves it. If they make the playoffs, he should absolutely deserve it. Seattle was supposed to be one of the worst teams in the league.
And the Giants weren't?
I mean, the Giants, yeah, I mean, you're right about that. But they have more talent than the Seahawks.
That is absolutely capped. They don't have any wide receivers.
Who?
The Giants.
That's it? That's all you're going by? There's wide receivers?
Yeah.
They got Saquon Barkley.
They do have Saquon Barkley. You have Kenneth Walker. You have Tyler Lockett. You had DK Metcalf.
They had Kadarius Toney. They got Wan'Dale
They just
Robinson.
traded him.
Well, I'm saying they had him. I'm
He
saying
didn't
they
play.
were still talented. They were just as talented.
They have Kenny Golladay, buns. Kadarius Toney, when he was there, buns. He didn't play at all.
Wan'Dale Robinson's pretty good.
He is pretty good. I
Darius
actually
Slayton's
like
pretty
him.
good.
I like Slayton.
Yeah, I mean, they're not like top name receivers, but that doesn't make them not good or formidable. I mean, they're not compared to DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett.
Thank you.
But what I'm saying is, they still had talent. It wasn't like they were
They were mid.
Yeah, they were mid.
Yo, so-
Galladay's mid, yeah, but Kadarius Toney ain't mid.
Golladay ain't mid. He's trash.
Kadarius Toney's not mid. He was just hurt, and then things went out of whack with the Giants, and that happens. But I don't think their talent level was terrible on the outside on the receivers. I just don't.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even their style anyway. They've been a running football team, and Daniel Jones included runs the football. 100-yard game last week. But I actually think this is the best case scenario for both teams because I think that the franchise tag is not the worst idea when you think about two teams that have cap space and maybe drafting a rookie quarterback. Why not have that bridge guy already in place, and you can easily either trade him by doing that, or you have him for another year and then maybe consider moving him at a later date, or you just let him go, plain and simple. One way or the other, I think that just at least it offers them flexibility, and both of these teams, quite frankly, needed that more than anybody. We were thinking these might be the two worst quarterback teams going into the season, and now suddenly it's looking like a positive for them to at least have options. So we'll see. We'll see, guys.
Well,
Real
I'm
quick,
going to tell you what happened to the Giants. So what's going to happen is they're going to sputter at some point. They're going to go on the losing streak, and then everybody in New York is going to want Daniel Jones' head.
It's possible. It is
It's
possible.
true. The tabloids are going to be they're going to be insane once they go off the rails. I'm not a believer in the Giants. I'm just not. I mean, a lot of people believe in them. I can't get there.
I want to see more from them too, but I will respect where they are, and the NFC sucks. So, but long term, guys, does Saquon Barkley deserve a long term contract? Just simple yes or no, honestly. Do you think he deserves a long term contract from the Giants? Has he done enough to do that?
Yes.
Okay. I agree. I mean, at least a couple of years.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, does he deserve it? Yes, but should they do it? That's a whole other discussion.
There you go. All right, next up.
Zeke.
This one's going to be quicker, okay? Philly Phil, real quick. Give us a quickie, all right? I like that, actually. Actually, I kind of want to do the next two games on this pace right here. All right? Patriots, -2.5 at the Jets. All right? Mac Jones is starting. We already know. All right? The Jets, without Breece Hall and Hall and Vera-Tucker. First game without him. All right? Will Bill yank Mac Jones if he struggles again in this game? That's the only question I want to ask before we ask for the actual picks.
I hope not, because it's not fair to Mac Jones. I know I like to bag on him a lot, but don't do that. Let him play the full game. You can't come in there and have him play a series and take him out. Like it's crazy. It's messing with his confidence. I don't know what's going on with them. So I'm taking the Jets because I don't know what the hell is going on with the Patriots.
I won't put it past Bill at all again to yank him. I don't think he should. I think he needs to ride and die with one guy in one game, and you can decide the next game if you want to switch again. But give me the Jets too. I think they find a way here to pull off an upset as the home dog. I just think that they've played much better football at this point.
I disagree with the both of you. I'm taking the Patriots -2.5. And I think Mac Jones is going to bounce back this week. I feel like he's that championship level kind of quarterback. You know what I mean? You saw it in college when he won the national championship. He has that pedigree to him, and I think he's going to bounce back here. I know he's got a lot of pressure on him. It's really unfair for him. I mean, just the whole circumstance is crazy. The guy went to the Pro Bowl, made the playoffs, and all of a sudden Bailey Zapp comes here and a 4th-round pick wins 2 games, and then now everybody's booing Mac Jones and calling him he sucks, this, that. But they weren't saying that last year when he was balling out. I mean, he got hurt. So what did you want him to do? It happens. You know what I mean? Just let him get in the groove. He's your leader. He's your guy. You spent a 1st-round draft pick on him. Don't quit on him yet. And the Patriots don't have a reason to quit on him. So for me, it's Mac Jones. Let him play the entire game. I think the Patriots will win this game.
Him and Bill don't vibe. That's what I'm getting out of all this.
Not many people vibe with Bill.
Something's
Not
off.
at the moment. But guys, next up, all right, Sunday Night Football. Packers at Bills. Bills by 11.5 so far. Okay, largest underdog spread in Aaron Rodgers' career. Do the Packers stand a chance with the Bills coming off the bye and they've been so good? Tell me your picks.
They do, and I'm taking the Packers in the upset.
Whoa!
I'm telling you.
That is wild.
I'm
bro.
telling you, I got a hunch.
People, I'm stunned.
I have a hunch. Look, Aaron Rodgers been getting bullied all week in the media. I think sometimes it comes off the wrong way, but what he's saying is the truth. And if people are missing reads and making mental errors, you got to put other people in the game. But I think that could resonate within the locker room. It could help them. Nobody in the world is going to give them a chance. Every single sports bettor, every single network, every single news outlet, everybody is going to be on the Bills, and it's not that easy. If Aaron Rodgers is that dude, he needs to come out and gather his guys and go win this game. And I think he can do it. And I'm picking him to do it because when it looks too easy, I don't like it.
I'm stunned. I got the Bills both ways. I'm not even listen. The Packers make that inevitable trade, which for some reason they are so reluctant to do. I'm not. They need to shake things up a little bit. They're stubborn as fuck. Okay, I got the Bills both ways. And I'm a Packer believer here. I'm stunned right now.
Aaron.
I got the Bills to win by 2 scores. Theories.
Pauls, I love you, but you're really shot out. This is no chance in hell. If you think Aaron Rodgers is not on the same page with his wide receivers, you think they're going to be on the same page in a loud-ass stadium in Buffalo? No shot in hell. Sunday Night Football, it is going to be madness in Buffalo. They are going to be loud. It's going to be very difficult for Green Bay to even move the football. And Alan Lazard, his best wide receivers out, they are doomed.
Okay.
They're doomed. And I'll bet you right now that Buffalo wins.
Nah, I'm not doing that.
You shouldn't.
That's an easy-ass bet.
You shouldn't.
That's an easy-ass bet for you.
You shouldn't.
I believe in Aaron.
Offer him the game on the spread.
No, I'm not doing that because I do money lines for money lines.
I
don't bet spreads.
I got it. I know.
Well,
It's
Nick-
okay. It's fair. It's fair. The
Nick,
Bills.
do you
are
have the Bills
such a
both
dominant
ways?
team. Yeah, I got the Bills both ways. The Bills are such a dominant team. They are coming off a bye. They're fresh. They're healthy. They are going to smack Green Bay. They are going to smack Green Bay.
Okay.
Stinks, bro.
Well, let's
Green
leave
Bay
it
had
at
not
that.
played. They have not played well, and you could tell they're not on the same page. At least the Bucks have Godwin and Evans. They have nothing, bro. They got Romeo fucking Dobbs.
Romeo's coming.
Yeah, Romeo ain't coming nowhere.
We'll
He's
see if
coming.
they make
not-
a deal.
I like the spot. It's a mismatch. It's not that easy. It's not that easy.
I'm
It's not.
sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
really,
I'm
Mike,
sorry.
I like the spot too, but guess what? I like the spot for the Bucks, and I still went Ravens, and I'm doing the same thing here. I'm going with the superior team until proven otherwise. And I was in on the Packers. I'm not saying I'm out, but show me, Aaron. I'm calling you out.
You'll
All
see
right.
Sunday at about
But
11:30.
like, here's the thing: the Bucks were a double-digit favorite against the Steelers and lost, but the Bucks weren't playing that well to be a double-digit favorite. The Bills have blown anybody out they have won against. Like,
point.
they're a powerhouse, bro.
We'll see.
All right.
And it's going to be
Gotta
really
move
ugly
on.
for Green Bay once they get smacked because there's going to be a lot of rumors. Aaron Rodgers, he might be checked out. He's going to be throwing his teammates under the bus like he did this week again. And it's
And what happens when they win?
They're not going to win. That's why
What happens when they win? I'll bet you right now, actually. That's how confident I am they're going to win.
Let's go.
I'll give you that.
Wow.
Because I know they're going to win.
Okay.
I believe it.
Wow.
I want a chicken Caesar, by the way.
Absolutely. You want
it would
extra
go a
dressing?
long
I'll make
way.
it special.
Nah, I want it on the side.
All right.
Wow.
It's
It
less
would go a
calories.
long way for them, though, if they do pull this off and maybe make the improbable move. We'll see. Next up, 49ers -1.5 road favorite at the division rival Rams. Everybody knows the 49ers have owned them, okay, but the Rams are coming off of a bye. Maybe they could shuffle around the offensive line a bit. Who knows with Joe Noteboom out, but their center Brian Allen's coming back. Okay, CMC gets another week to learn the 49ers scheme, though. So something's got to give here. Who is winning this game? This is crucial for the division race. Crucial.
I'm taking the Rams coming out of their bye. I know that Shanahan has owned McVay typically in the regular season. Jimmy G's not playing that well, and I still I can't believe the Rams are that bad. I really can't. And I think a lot of Jimmy G's issues is he had no training camp, no off season. He was running laps by himself in the end zone. So that's where I think a lot of the miscues are coming from. So I'm going with the Rams.
Wait here, Nick. Actually, I gotta answer this. All right.
Go ahead.
I was doing the same thing as you, Mike. I was thinking, all right, emotions coming out of bye. It's a must-win for the Super Bowl champs. And I was thinking, all right, this might be one where I just go with my heart here. But you know what? They showed me not a damn thing. Jimmy G stinks, but the 49ers offense will still be able to football, okay? And they still have enough playmakers around him to be able to put up just enough points. What I am convinced of, though, is the 49ers, after getting embarrassed, their defense is going to have a field day with this offensive line because I've just not seen it. And Matthew Stafford has also stunk. Not all his fault.
Yes.
But they can't take any of the pressure off them because they can't run the football. And their defense has also stunk. So, again, it's another one. I am going with the team that has actually shown me something. They're imperfect. Jimmy G stinks. But they have shown me something. They have a formula that works for them, and it's worked against this team. Give me the 49ers both ways. And I changed my mind with this one earlier today, literally. I was with the Rams till last night.
I'm with you. I got the Niners. I think Shanahan just has the Rams number. It's the weirdest thing. They have beaten the Rams convincingly too, and I just think Debo's gonna have a big game. I know he's a little gimpy, right?
Yeah.
He might not even play right now.
Really?
He hasn't practiced.
Well, that hurts.
But
If he
I don't
doesn't
know
play,
yet.
That hurts. But
We've
still,
not gotten that
I still like the
indication
Niners.
yet, Nick.
I still
He's
like
not
the
What gave you
Niners.
that indication?
Well, I like their defense. I think their defense is better. I think their defense is really good. I think they could stop the Rams. The Rams have been dysfunctional. It's either Cooper Kupp or bust. They have nothing else. They can't run the football. If you can't run the football, you're done. And that's exactly what's going to happen in this game. I think Jimmy G is going to manage the game, and I think it's going to be a close battle. I think the Niners win by 3.
All right. Here we go. So now, Phil, one more time, all right? One more time, and we are going to go through the rest of the games here, okay? One more time.
I already did.
There it is. Oh, I hear you. Moneyline and spread games for the rest of Week 8, all right? Denver at Jacksonville. Jacksonville minus 2.5. The game is in London, 9:30 a.m. All right, who you got?
So initially, I liked the Broncos in this game because I thought they would come out and play for Hackett. And then, because they said he was coaching for his job. Then I heard about Cornball doing high knees and working out on the plane when his team was trying to rest. And this guy, I don't know what's going on with him. He was always corny, but he's becoming cringy. And I don't, it seems like it's all about him, all eyes on me. And I don't understand, I don't understand where this guy came from. I'm going with the Jaguars because he's making it hard to root for him. He really is.
Both ways, Mike?
Yes.
All right, theories.
I got the Jaguars too. I have no confidence in the Broncos. I can't remember Russ being this corny. I'm serious. I know, like we've talked about it in our group chat, but like there hasn't like. Can you name me one thing that he's done in Seattle that was actually like extremely corny? But like he's
Everything.
now. Go ahead.
Everything, literally.
Like what though? But
I swear, I swear.
But like what? Name one thing. What stands out? Like in 5 years from now, I'm gonna be like, yo, Russell Wilson was doing high knees in the middle of the plane. Like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna remember that. But like, did he do anything corny that would like anybody can remember? I can't remember him being this corny, bro.
Well, he was corny when he ran the 2-minute drills by himself up and down the field.
Yeah,
but that's something I could point to. But doing high knees in the middle of the plane when your team is sleeping is a whole nother level of corny.
Yeah, I mean, he was fake high-fiving the fans when he was entering the stadium.
Yeah, that's I forgot about that.
I know, but like he's never done that in the spotlight. So like to me, it's like, what happened? Like what happened? He was never this corny. I'm sorry, I just don't think it. I don't believe that. I feel like this is like
you missed it.
I feel like this is all like an act, man. Like this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I don't understand. I can't bet on this dude. I'm taking the Jags outright, and it's not close. I'm sorry. I have no confidence in the Broncos. I think they're ass. I think their head coach stinks. I think their head coach is horrible. He's the worst coach in the league. I don't think he has a grip on that team. I don't think he knows how to use his weapons. I don't think he knows how to coach. I don't think he knows clock management. I don't think he knows anything.
You can just say he blows.
I think you covered all bases.
Yeah, I have to cover my bases. I'm telling you why he sucks, and he sucks. He sucks.
Nobody would love to see him fired after this game more than me. I want them to lose so badly in this game. I know it would kill their season. I want them to lose so badly because I have had enough. I don't want to see it anymore. Tired of it. Russell Wilson also, you guys know I love him. He's always been this corny guy. I promise you that 100%, only because I do love the guy and he's my guy. He's always been this corny. It's always been cringy. This is why Richard Sherman hates him, okay? It's not just him. Former teammates, they all say it. He's cringy as fuck. That said, I think he's been full of himself going into this year. I think he needs to be humbled. I hope he has been. I'm not saying his season's over. Hackett, though, might be done either way here. They could win this game, and I still think they leaked it. He could be getting fired no matter what happens here. Real chance. Leave him in London. Leave him there. Okay, but here's what I'm going to say, though.
Yeah, that's the title.
100%.
Leaving in London is insane.
I got a lot of catchphrases tonight, apparently.
That's
but
funny as hell.
Here's the thing.
Leave him in London. That's crazy, fam.
But here's the thing, though, guys. The thing is that the Jags have not seen a defense like this, and I think Trevor Lawrence is going to struggle. So I'm going Denver, and I hope it's a very ugly win so that he still gets fired. I think it really is going to come down to the defense here. Really. I'll be contrarian, honestly. I would love to see Dougie P win here. I would love it. Okay? Next up, we have the Panthers, fresh off the win at the Bucs, versus the Falcons, fresh off their first loss against the spread. Falcons -4. Who you got?
I'm taking the Panthers to win. I am. I really am. I don't really have a feel. I don't really have a feel for this game, to be honest. The only thing it's like, why are the Falcons 4-point favorites?
They're better.
I don't think that. I mean, I guess, but I'm not in on that, bro. I'm not in on the Falcons. They're better, but by how much?
By 4 points.
Yeah, no.
I got the Falcons both ways. They're good.
Give me the
They're
Panthers.
tough.
They're not good.
They're tough.
I
They're tough.
almost switched this one. I have the Falcons with the Panthers covering the spread. Give credit to PJ Walker and the running game. They actually look competent. They look like a competent football team. I think there's major upset potential, but I'm not ready to say it because the Falcons have actually been pretty good. The record may not indicate it, but they've been a pretty good team. So I'll take them to win the game. Panthers on the spread. All right. Bears, fresh off their upset victory of the Patriots. Bears at Cowboys. Dak is back. Dak won his first game. Dallas favored by 9.5. Who you got?
Give me the Cowboys both ways. That defense is going to get to Justin Fields.
I'm there too with you, Mike. Emotional letdown. They're coming back here. They might compete a little bit, but I got Dallas both ways because I think they'll pull out in the end. And also, low key, I love that Zeke might be out this game, actually likely to be out, and I would love to see Tony Pollard just go off. I would hate to see it for the NFC East and the Eagles, but Tony Pollard's going to have a huge game here. That's why they're going to separate, and the defense, of course. Dallas both ways.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when the Bears just traded away Robert Quinn. It seems like it kind of
sinking feeling.
It found its way in the locker room, and it's gonna affect them. You kind of just send a message to your team that we're a fire sale. We're kind of trying to rebuild here through the draft. I think the Cowboys, they're just way better than them. I think Justin Fields is going to have a long day. Micah Parsons is going to be in that backfield the entire game. I think he's going to cause havoc. I think he's going to have at least 2-3 sacks in this game. I love the Cowboys here. I'll take the Cowboys both ways.
All right, next up, Dolphins road favorite -3.5 at the Lions. Lions fresh off the bye, and DeAndre Swift is going to play in this game, guys. Who you got?
I like the Dolphins, and I'll take the Lions to cover because they just got blown out in back-to-back weeks. The last 2 times they played, the Dolphins are 4-0 with Tua. Dolphins are a good team. Tua looks good, and I think they're better coached right now.
Theories,
man. You know what? I was thinking the Dolphins because I'm thinking, okay, Tyreek Hill in a dome, that's unreal. Jalen Waddle in the dome, that's unreal. The speed is unreal, right? But I'm taking the Lions.
The knee biters.
I'm taking the Lions. I am. I think this is the week.
Upset alert.
Yeah, I think this is the week the Dolphins kind of get somewhat back down to earth. I like the Lions in the spot. I do. I think they're going to play hard for Dan Campbell. It hasn't really been his fault. It's just been the defense. If they can hold the Dolphins and Amon-Ra could stay healthy, because it seems like anytime Amon-Ra's out of the game, their Lions
they
offense
fall apart.
stink.
They fall apart.
It's like it is kind of weird. But I like the Lions in this game. DeAndre Swift is coming back. He's a beast, which is much needed, by the way. And they're home. I like the Lions in this spot. They're a more desperate team.
Yeah, I think there's some upset potential here. I'm not going to lie to you, only because even though the team has won with Tua at quarterback, besides that fourth quarter in Baltimore, I've not seen enough consistency from that offense yet. I think that they need to be more explosive, and this is the perfect opportunity for them. Detroit's defense has been god-awful, so they need to put up 30 points in this game. 2 stats for you, though. Tua versus teams allowing 28-plus points per game. He is 1-5 against the spread. On the other side, Jared Goff ranks 116th since 2016 in Moneyline as an underdog. But he's 20-19 against the spread as an underdog. So I'm going to go Dolphins to win. I'm going to go Detroit on the spread. Just like you, Mike.
Cool.
All right. Next up, we have the Raiders -1.5 road favorite at the Saints. Saints confirm Andy Dalton is starting despite Jameis Winston being healthy. Who you got?
I'm taking the Raiders to win and cover the spread. Raiders are better. I think they could start to, start to begin to climb themselves out of the hole they dug themselves into. Saints stink. Dennis Allen stinks. Michael Thomas doesn't like to play football after he got paid. Been saying that since he got paid. Jarvis Landry's out again. Olave's a stud, but he's their only one. Raiders can't lose to Juwan Johnson and Chris Olave. Can't happen.
Theories, you're probably torn here, man. These are your teams.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even realize that.
These are his teams, man.
battle
He's
of the
got to be
Butters.
torn.
It's not the battle of the butt. It's just the battle of the Saints just need a quarterback. If the Saints had they're the stupidest team in the NFL, by the way, besides the Broncos. If they had a quarterback, this team would be Super Bowl ready. Shame on them, honestly. But I'm going the Raiders here. I think they're better. The game's in a dome. They had better weapons. Josh Jacobs has been an absolute monster this season. I expect him to go off again, even though the Saints defense is pretty stout, but they're just running the ball effectively. Teams know that they are running it, and it doesn't matter. He's been getting 150 yards a game, a couple touchdowns. I mean, he looks like a new player to me. And then you got the wide receivers on the outside with Devontae Adams, of course, who, by the way, he actually missed practice back-to-back days due to the flu. Apparently he'll be ready to go on Sunday, but you got Devontae Adams, you got Renfro. I think Waller's a little bit questionable. I don't know if he's playing, but I like the Raiders. I think they're on an uptick here. They won last week against the Texans. I think this is where they start to build momentum and into the middle of the season, which they need to rattle off some wins, because I think they're almost dead last in the division. They're 2-4. Broncos are 2-5, so they need this game. The Chiefs are 5-2, but the Chargers are 4-3. They're only a game and a half behind them, so I think the Raiders need this win more.
I actually, honestly, I think that these two teams to this point have been the exact same. To be honest with you, I know the Saints have all that talent on defense, but the biggest development for the Saints this season has been the defense has not played well at all. They've not been good lately, and I'm stunned because I think that is the strength of the team. The offense, however, with Andy Dalton, has looked good. I actually think it's a good thing they're starting him. And the Raiders' offense has been good because they figured out the formula. Josh Jacobs, kudos to him. He has surprised everybody, including me, and that is the way they win games. They have to be able to run the football here. I'm going Saints, though, guys. I'm going Saints to pull the upset. Derek Carr is the second least profitable road QB against the spread since 2017. That's 109th out of 110 quarterbacks. He's not been good on the road, and he's honestly just not played well this season. Right now, it's the Josh Jacobs show. It has nothing to do with Derek Carr. He just hasn't made enough mistakes. So both these offenses are kicking. Both of these defenses are sucking.
And I think he played well in Kansas City.
Josh Jacobs is
he did have a good game there.
He did, but it got spoiled because they blew it.
It's a shame. Yeah,
that sucks.
Actually did.
He played well against the Cardinals too.
He played great against Kansas City.
So I think this has low-key upset potential. Next up, we're at the 4:00 hour. We have the Titans -2.5 at the Texans. Who you got?
Titans both ways. Titans are actually hitting their stride.
Yeah, they're quietly.
Yeah, nobody. Here we go. I said this when we were talking about when the divisions were winning. I was saying too. I'm like the Titans are just that well-coached team that nobody talks about that just finds ways to win. Derrick Henry had 30 rushes last week. He's hitting his stride too. Derek Reddy's ready to go. That injury last year was a fluke. It happened. He stepped on the guy's cleat and hurt his foot. He came back and had 25 carries in that playoff game. And he looked the same ever since.
I'm with Piles here. I'm taking the Titans. The Titans are quietly 4-2. Nobody's talking about them. I just think they're rolling right now. I think Vrabel's got them boys playing for him. I think Tannehill's a little iffy. I don't know if Malik Willis is playing or not, but if Malik Willis does play, it could be trouble for the Titans because I don't know if he's ready. But we have seen quarterbacks step in and make an impact. Look at Cooper Rush. He came in and won 4 games in a row. Just because they have a backup quarterback, that doesn't mean they're doomed. It just means the next man up. If he can keep them afloat, they'll be okay because their defense is playing really well. I just like the Titans this week.
Yeah, I got the Titans too. I think that they're just simply a better team. But I will say that Houston tends to keep games close, and Ryan Tannehill, even though his record He and Mike Vrabel, the record against the AFC South is phenomenal. 15-3 straight up, 12-6 against the spread. In games against the Texans, Tannehill has actually, his stats are not good against them. He still beats them, though. So that's important. Give me the Titans both ways. Next up, Washington Commanders at the Indianapolis Colts, led by Sam Ehlinger. All right. Backed up by Nick Foles. Matt Ryan is not suiting up. He probably will never suit up again due to money issues in the contract. He may even get cut. Stay tuned. He is not suiting up in this game. Just throwing that out there. All right. Who you got? And the line is Colts by 3 at home.
I am going with Mr. Passion, Taylor Heineke, and the Commanders get it done.
Aries.
Yeah, I'm going the Commanders here.
Me too, guys. I think that they'll actually be able to run the football here a little bit, and that's going to be the separator. The Colts, though, I do actually think their run game can get back on track now that they have the running quarterback in there in Sam Ehlinger. So this is one we have to see what happens. How much does it change the offense? All right. Last one, guys. Monday Night Football. Joe Burrow without Jamar Chase. Confirmed Jamar Chase is now on the IR with a hip injury. Came out of nowhere, okay? Probably out 4 to 6 weeks. Bengals -3.5 on the road against their division rival Cleveland.
Bengals both ways. Cleveland stinks. Jacoby Brissett, the Jacoby Brissett show ended after his few first games to start out the season and looked good like a backup does. The Jamar Chase loss is big, but T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd will fill in just fine.
This has potential upset here written all over it. Jamar Chase being out, is T. Higgins the number one wide receiver? We're getting ready to find out. I think he'll be fine, but I'm just saying there's still question marks there. The Browns can run the football. They can control the clock. If they could do that, they're going to win this football game, but I don't believe in them right now. I like the Bengals here both ways. Even though I think it is going to be a closer game than a lot of people think, because it's division game. It's on the road. I think the Bengals, they're hurt right now, but I think they'll get it done.
Guys, believe it or not, this is Joe Burrow's first Monday night game of his career. Believe it or not.
Is it really?
It is. Yep. First career start on Monday Night Football. And he's been so-so. He's been a mixed bag in night games, 2-2 straight up, 3-1 against the spread. But the Bengals itself, as a team, they're 13-2 against the spread in their last 15. And Kevin Stefanski, though, on the flip side, there is upset potential here. I agree with Nick. Stefanski, 7-7 straight up, 3-11 against the spread against the AFC North division. I just think the Bengals kind of hit their stride. I don't think that they're going to be held back here, but I think they will. It will be a close game. The Browns literally are a couple of bounces away from being a 4-win team and a whole different narrative.
Agreed.
They need an obvious change at quarterback, but they hang in games because they are loaded with talent besides at that position. So I am going with the Bengals both ways, but I think we'll actually see a good game. I think it'll be a fun one. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show. All right, we sped through those last 10 or so games. The game tonight is still going on right now. I believe the Bucs still have the lead last time I heard from the audience. But
10-3.
There you go, 10-3. So go back to watching the game. But otherwise, next episode is Tuesday, 8 p.m. Week 8 recap, okay? Episode 117 of Psychotic and Iconic, brought to you by Playmaker and Prize Picks, Daily Fantasy Made Easy. Also, we were live tonight at the Props Network at propshq.com, where you need to go and subscribe to our show and keep up with all of the best football coverage around. All right? No one is covering everything like us. Last but not least, what do we wear here?
Fantastic fabric. Come get yours today.
There you go. IPP Pressworks. Go ahead, Paul. Show off your T-shirt. The hell of a T-shirt. IPP Pressworks, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. If you need P&I merch, DM us for pricing and details. We will take care of you. Otherwise, everybody enjoy Week 8 football. Nick Theories, do your thing.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We appreciate all the love, support, and the comments. If you guys haven't done so already, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell on YouTube. We are also available on propshq.com, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeart, Megaphone, Stitcher,
And all that other caca.
Also, follow us on all of our socials. You do not want to miss our daily content on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And we will see you guys next week at P&I, baby. Enjoy week 8.